Howdy guys! Today we are learning about a couple different things. We're actually doing another paper project, and this is a little bit of a cutting and gluing project having to do with the Navajo Indians in New Mexico. If you look right here, this is kind of a typical landscape. Come on in, Mr. Hedricks, come closer. This is a typical landscape that you see in New Mexico. Very, very beautiful. And there is an Indian tribe called the Navajo Indian tribe that lives in this area. And they happen to weave very beautiful blankets. Now, you can see here that the blankets have a lot of red, gray, kind of cream colors to them. Very beautiful. They'll dye these naturally using different fruits or roots or things like that. And they'll use wool to be able to do this. And actually, we are going to be making our own Navajo blankets. And the reason that we're doing this is because we are actually going to be combining in a project with Mr. Hedricks, because Mr. Hedricks has been studying, yeah, that's him shaking the camera. Mr. Hedricks has been studying bones, and he loves the work of Georgia O'Keeffe. She was a woman who lived in New Mexico, who loved the Navajo Indians, and who loved all of the bones that she would find in this area. When an animal would die, the sun would just bake that dead animal so that it would deteriorate down to the point of the bones. And when she would go out there, she'd find these perfectly clean, bleach white from the sun bones, and she thought they were gorgeous. So she would do, this is her when she was younger, this is her when she was much older. A lot of people think she looks like she's not very friendly, or they think maybe she looks a little manly, but she just didn't care. She was out in the sun all the time, and she would make these beautiful paintings of skulls. So what does this have to do with us? Well, in my class, we're going to be making a Navajo blanket out of paper, of course, because we're doing paper. And in Mr. Hedricks' class, you are going to be drawing the bones. Oh, perfect union! So, come over here. Actually, let me tell you a few things. In the Navajo blankets, they have different symbols. The one that I want you to notice mostly is this. Do you see how it almost looks like a ladder, where it's it's steps? You see steps, all over the place. Here's steps. That's called a cloud ladder. And you can only imagine, if you're thinking about heaven, that they would think about when they would die, that they would take that ladder or those steps, that cloud ladder, up into heaven, which is kind of cool. Anytime you see a triangle, just plan on it meaning rain. That's what they did a lot. When we see this kind of a thing, that is going to be more of a mountains, where you have this kind of zigzag thing right here. And if you see something like this, that means falling rain. Now, something that's kind of interesting about their blankets is that they don't just have symmetry where what's on the left is the same as what's on the right. What they have is called fourfold, which means that what's in this corner is also in this corner, and also in this corner, and also in this corner. If you look at my example, you'll see that this corner is the same as this corner, is the same as this corner, is the same as this corner. So today when we make our Navajo blankets, we're going to keep that in mind. So come on over. What's kind of cool is the reason that they have that symbolism of 4 is because they would think about the 4 seasons: summer, winter, fall, and spring. They would think about the 4 directions: north, south, east, and west. The Navajo tribe is actually, the land is contained within 4 mountain ranges, which is really cool. And there were actually 4 different clans that made up the Navajo tribe. So the number 4 is really important to them. So, how are we doing our project today? First of all, you're going to get a background piece of paper from over yonder. Mr. Hedricks, can you show that over there? You're first going to get that, and then you're going to come and sit down, and you're going to find that there is a piece of paper waiting for you that has this design on here. I don't know if you can see it. Hopefully you can see it with the pencil. But this actually has our cloud ladder design on here. And what you're going to be doing is folding this paper in half. Remember, when we fold, that we always go corner to corner. If you don't think that you can get it straight, ask a friend to hold it for you. What I like to do is get my corners straight, put my hand in the middle, and then just kind of push this way and go across. And now what I'm going to do is go this way. if you end up folding and you don't see any of these guidelines anywhere, you're like, where did they go? It could be that maybe you folded it on the inside or something like that. No matter what, you should be able to see these lines. I have a feeling Mr. Heat Jerks can't see them, so I'm going to go over them a little bit darker. So these lines are going to be on there for you. You will not go over them with Sharpie. I'm just doing that right now to help you out. And what you're going to be doing is cutting them. Before you cut, I want for you to notice this. Do you see this end that has 4 pieces of paper? We are going to be giving you a paper clip. And you are going to take that paper clip and do the corners. Here we go. You're going to go like this. Whack! Okay? Just do yourself a favor right there. You'll see why in a minute. So what I'm going to do now is cut. I'm going to come this way and this way. Now remember, boys and girls, if you're like, I can't do it, it's too hard. Number 1, switch to another brand of scissor. Number 2, remember that we always want to open up our scissors really big like an alligator mouth. If you try and cut with the tip, you don't have a lot of strength. If you open up real big, feed it all the way back to the back of the throat and cut, much easier. When you cut this off, just leave it, just like that with the paper clip. You're going to see why that works so nice in just a minute. I'm going to quick cut this out. Don't worry if you go a little too far or whatever. Now, I want for you to think this through. We've been talking about not wasting paper, and everyone at your table group is going to be cutting out a different color of what I'm doing right now, which means that everyone is going to end up with the same thing. And let me show you what they're going to end up with. They're going to end up with this little cross, which in the Navajo language would be like a star. They're going to end up with kind of a small cloud ladder. They're going to end up with a big cloud ladder. And the gift keeps on giving. The reason we have the paper clip around here is because we're actually going to have 4 here. And I didn't want you to get them lost. And these you can use anywhere for corners. I want you to keep the paper clip on them, just because if someone wants to use it and they only find 1, well then you don't have the 4-fold symmetry. You get what I'm saying? So always keep it paper clipped unless you want to use it. Now, watch what's going to happen. Mr. Heat Jerks, my friend, already cut one. He cut one out of this color. My invisible friend over here probably cut it in another color. My invisible friend over here cut it in another color. And you guys can all work together to make a beautiful Navajo blanket. So check out what I'm going to do. I might start with this big one and lay it down and go, yep, I like it. That looks good to me. And so I can take my glue stick. Please, please, please make sure you put on enough glue, otherwise it will not stick on and that would be sad. So you're going to go like this, and you're going to glue it on. But now, what shall we do next? I don't know. What could we do? I might say, friend, Mr. Heat Jerks, are you going to use this? Mr. Heat Jerks, are you going to use this? Yeah. Okay, no. So I can steal his, and I can put them right here. Look. Bing! 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 Do I have to do it? Bing! Right there. I got it. So I can go like this. I can go like this. I can go like this. And last but not least, I can go like this. I may want to, and I'm keeping mine pretty simple, just for the heck of it. I can put that gray one in the center. And it could be that I will want to do something kind of different. Maybe I could take this one, and maybe I could cut it like this, and like this. Well, then I may want to come here and do something like where I'd stick it right here, and right here, and here, and here. I may want to take some pink, which would look kind of cool, and do one of those mountain things. Well, then what I'm going to do, just to save myself some trouble, is I'll fold it in half. I think I'm going to do falling rain instead. I'm just going to fold it 4 ways just to make life easy for myself. And then I can just go doot, 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 doot. Open it up, and look at that. Just like that, I have falling rain, which I can put across the top here. Mr. Eatrix, can they see that? Yes? Why don't you come behind me so they can see even a little bit more? So we can put this on here and glue that on. Now I'll tell you what I'm not going to do. I'm not going to spend a ton of time getting really detailed on my center, because what's going to happen is that you are going to be drawing your skull with Mr. Eatrix, and that skull is actually going to be going right here in the center. So if you do a whole bunch of time, spend a whole bunch of time doing something really cool right here in the center, you're not going to be very happy when your skull covers it up. So if you're going to spend any amount of time doing something special, do it around the edges. Now what I may do is take some more scrap paper and just start to add a few more things. Maybe I'll put a few diamonds over here. Or, oh, I kind of like that shape. Just to go ahead and add a few more things on here. You guys can look at the examples that are on the tables here and notice things that they do and just keep adding depending on how much time you have. So you can see on here some of the different shapes that they have. Like I said, I'm doing mine kind of fast so the video doesn't take forever. What you're going to be doing right now is getting your background paper, and then you are going to sit down and cut out the one that we have the stencil on there for you, and then you can go ahead and start. Have fun.